These are the men and women of Beaver Valley. The bravest of the brave, they fought fearlessly for their country, their city, their community, and for the ideals we share as Americans. They served proudly in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf War, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Here, now, are their stories, their own experiences in their own words, the words of the heroes of Beaver Valley. For 98-year-old West Mayfield resident Roger Soriano, just a few months made a difference between a release from the service and extended duty in World War II. Early in 1941, Soriano got a notice in the mail that he'd been selected to serve in the United States Army. He was soon on a train to Fort Meade in Maryland. Assigned to the 176th Field Artillery Battalion, Soriano's time in the service was nearly done when he completed maneuvers in North Carolina.
By that time, I had about 8 months in. So I said, oh boy, I said, 4 more months and I'm out of here. December 7th, somebody came and said, hey, Japanese struck Pearl Harbor. I said, uh-oh, there goes the 4 months.
After traveling from base to base, Soriano finally found himself with the 776th Field Artillery. His outfit left New York on the Aquitania, an English cruise liner converted into a troop ship. It was headed toward Southampton, England.
We left in the middle of the night sometime. I remember I didn't get to see the Statue of Liberty. The ocean was like glass. No waves, no ripples, nothing. And you could see the flying fish coming out and the porpoises chasing the ship. We were headed for Southampton, England. All of a sudden we're going north, and I was on guard that night. They posted, Navy posted guards, and got one of the officials from the ship came up. He asked me how I was doing. I said, all right. He said, you hear anything? And I said, no. You see anything? And I said, no. And I said, why do you ask? And he said, they detected a sub pretty close, so we were headed east, and we were going north. So we ended up in Scotland. In Scotland, we come down to Southampton, and we got a ship.
Soriano's outfit ended up landing on Omaha Beach after D-Day and started their march and fight through Europe.
So we marched for, well, about 5 miles. We ended up in a place in a big field next to a great big stone house with a stone wall fence around it. And we were told, don't mess with nothing. We're going to sleep here and out here in the field next to it. So it was raining, and we had them pup tents. The pup tents is no good in the rain. So we slowed around that mud for about 2 weeks, and we didn't have any equipment. Our equipment hadn't come in yet. So we ended up borrowing a truck from somebody. We get down to the docks, and we picked up all kind of timber, plastic, lumber, stuff like that, and we built some huts.
When their equipment finally reached them, they continued marching and left behind their former campground, which they had nicknamed Camp Crud.
We went up to Holland and Belgium and France. Finally ended up in Germany. Got into the Bulge. We were Corps Artillery. Wherever they needed firepower, they called us and we would go. We were like 176 straight days without a break. Moving or shooting and moving and that. Our battery was like half a mile back of the firing batteries. In the meantime, we had lost a couple of guys. We lost the cook. One battery lost the cook. Shell come over, hit the trees, and he was under a tree and it killed him. And well, one of these firing batteries had a man, and he was getting more like shell-shocked, you know. He wasn't acting right. So they brought him back to our battery for a couple of days, you know, for him to get rested up. Well, whenever we moved up, if this house was occupied, we'd go in there and stay and keep out of the shelter, you know, keep for shelter. The barn was connected to the house. You could go from the kitchen into the barn. And he's sitting there with his gun. He picked up his gun. Pow! There's a pile of straw in the corner. They all jumped up. They said, "What the hell's the matter? What are you doing there?" He said, "Something in that pile. I seen it move." So they took the straw off of it. The German there, he killed him. So there's things like that, kind of amazes you. And then we kept moving and moving. And
Soriano saw many troubling and horrific things while moving across Europe.
I could tell you stuff maybe you wouldn't even believe. We used to see trucks going out in the field and picking up dead Germans, soldiers, throwing them in the truck. Then they'd take them back to the quartermaster someplace and they'd dump them. And then they'd get their IDs and everything, and I don't know what they did after that.
Despite those gruesome moments, there were also good times that Soriano still remembers clearly.
We was on the eastern part of Germany, a little town called Plauen, and we had been moving up, and we were told that the Russians was coming through, so if they come through, don't bother them, don't even talk to them, let them go. So we were parked there along the street, and we're taking a break, and I look up the sidewalk, and here comes a woman, or two little kids coming down. And they walked down, and I stopped them. I said, "Hey, what's your name?" I said, "You like candy?" They said, "Yes, I had candy." I give them each more candy and a package of chewing gum. They let them go. Pretty soon I hear these guys holler. Here comes a woman. She's got 2 swords and a saber. And these guys are all hollering. She's walking down the sidewalk. She came down to me and she said, "For you." I said, "For me? For what?" She said, "I seen you give my kids chewing gum and candy." I thanked her, And she took off.